in the midst of scraping. So that's really kind of what it all looked like before scraping. And here it is after I've gotten it scraped. It's nice and smooth. So we'll just keep going with the scraping. So I've got this one done. That I just Ricky. So we'll just keep going with the scraping. It's a lot of rust and a lot of calcium buildup. So I'm just gonna have to get it as clean as I can. And just get it nice and smooth. So far it's doing pretty good here. All right, so we've got it all scraped down. Did pretty good. I mean, there's little itty bitty just surface scratches, not anything I'm not gonna worry about. But yeah, all looks pretty smooth. I got a little bit right there that maybe I can do a little bit more on. And what I'll do is, so I've used 5 razor blades just to keep them new so I didn't gouge. So I can feel just little spots. What I'll do is I'll go over one last time with the fresh one. You know, any rough spots. And when I mean rough, I mean barely rough. I can feel it right there. So looked like I had a little bit of pitting right here. And I had a little pit right there. But other than that, it looks pretty good. So I think I'd be okay. I don't know. We'll have to see. I hope. So I'll do one more pass with that, with a new one. And then we'll start working on the other side and getting the gasket off for the cam tower that's on there. And then I think I might just soak it again to just try to get it as clean as I can. You know, I don't know. Have to see. But we'll work on getting this stuff all off then too. But yeah, that inside there cleaned up real nice. So, and that cleaned up pretty good too. So I think my hillbilly hot tank worked. Okay, so I finished the bottom side of the head. I spent about 3 hours scraping that head. Came up to the cam side and the gasket was really on there. I was able to get most of the big chunks off. But I'm going to try to use some of this gasket remover and see if that helps get some of this off, because this was on there pretty good. And I didn't want to really gouge anything. So we're going to let that sit for a little while and we'll come back and try to clean it. All right. Well, I think this is the best I'm going to get this. So I might do this one more time, but I've done it 3 times, scraped it with razor blades. I mean, some of the stuff is just, I don't know. I don't think it'll come off. I mean, it's smooth, so I think we're okay with that. It's pretty smooth, so I think we're okay with that. Now I'm going to work on the exhaust ports. So working on the exhaust ports. So I started working on this one. It's pretty much what it looked like when I started. I'll have to clean up the threads. But yeah, we're getting there with it. It's mostly like rust and like calcium buildup. It's not gasket. So, you know, I'll just keep scraping and then maybe just take a brush to it. Not a hard brush, but just something to try to get the rest of that off. But you can see the rust that's just kind of coming off of that. So just keep scraping away. All right, so I'm just going to do a close-up video. So this is before I scrape anything off. Okay, so that is then after scraping for like 15 minutes. See if I can get it to focus. It's pretty smooth. There's some pitting here. There was some pitting here on this one too. You can kind of feel where it's like you can feel the holes, the little round circles. But it's pretty smooth. It's better around the top, but yeah, down here at the bottom where you kind of see that rusty stuff. So I'll try to clean some of that rust off there too. See if I can get some of that out of there before I put everything back on. But okay, so we're going to try to clean up these studs. So what I'm going to try first is a little Vapo Rust and wrap them in paper towels and leave them and see how that does. If not, I've got some gel that I'll put on them, but I'll leave those on maybe for a few hours or maybe even overnight and let it just soak on those, and might have to put them on a second time, but we'll see how they do. So there's the before for those. So we'll see how it does. Okay, so we got that all set up here with the Vapo Rust. Work on those bolts, and hopefully that'll help. We can clean those off. This head, that's the best it's going to be. So I'm trying to figure out how to clean it and make it look nice on the outside. I spend all this time doing this, and I want to make sure it looks nice on the outside. So hopefully I'll get some suggestions on how to clean the outside, like all this, and just get it cleaned up and shined up and making it look nice. I mean, just even like that would be okay. So we'll keep working. All right, so we let the bolts and everything kind of soak overnight. They are cleaner, definitely are. So I let them soak overnight. I kind of brushed them off, and then I applied some of this to them as well and let it sit on there for about 30 minutes. And yeah, they cleaned up pretty good. I don't know if you can really see. It's kind of hard with the light, but they are a lot better than they were. So, and this didn't do a whole lot for that rust on there. So we'll just kind of try to keep scraping at that and see what we can maybe get off, and then start cleaning it up. I also started to just brush this off, just with a brass brush, using a screwdriver just to kind of get into here. And then actually, for in here, like as you can see, like in here and in here, that brush doesn't get in there. So I actually used, what was this, 150 grit sandpaper just to get into those edges and try to get some of that stuff cleaned up in there. Looks better. Not, this is kind of what it looked like before I was brushing it. I mean, this was the worst end, but you can tell where I brushed and where I haven't. Not quite where I want it to be yet. So I don't know. Kind of used the 150 grit sandpaper here just to kind of see what that would do. But I don't know, sanding this would take forever. So I'm looking at maybe getting it vapor blasted just to make it look nice. I don't know. I got to bring it by the place that's by my house and let them look at it to tell me how much it's going to cost to do it. But I don't know. This isn't horrible with the way that looks, but I mean, it definitely could look a lot nicer. But do I want to spend any money doing that, or do I want to just brush it? And I might try to get some brushes on a drill and just do it, and just try to stay away from the surfaces for the intake on there. So we will keep going. Okay, So, what I decided to try, and then look at that. That looks so much better. So that's before, and that is after. Just a Dremel with a brass wheel on it. Just takes some time. But you can definitely see the difference. So I'm happy with that. I'm not going to bring it to get it cleaned. I'm happy with that. That's going to be good enough for me. Once again, this is not a show engine. I just want everything nicer and cleaner when it goes back in, and I would say that is definitely cleaner than what it looked like before I hot tanked it and what it looks like now. So I am good to go with that. So we'll finish cleaning this up, put a new wheel on, and get to getting. All right. Well, there we go. I think that turned out great. That looks pretty. I mean, it's pitted. It's not going to be like getting it professionally done, but you know what? It's a lot cleaner, and it looks much, much better than what was there before. So I am happy with that. So I still have the sides to do, and then the back side where the exhaust ports are need to be done. So that'll be the next step.